What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode with your boy Phrankleen. All right. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. If you like what I'm about, don't forget to hit this like button, smash the subscribe button, and once you've done, hit that little bell button and select all. So what that does is it lets you know when I'm on a live stream and when my new contents go live. All right. So that way you can keep up to date with my content. Now, before I crack on, these episodes are sponsored by Sendwave. Sendwave is basically an app that you can download within the two shakes of a duck's tail on your mobile devices, be it Android or iPhone, okay? It allows you to send money from Italy, Spain, Ireland, United Kingdom, United States to Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, and, Uganda. Now, from the 1st of August to the 9th of August 2020. If you're watching this before the 9th of August or on the 9th of August, there's a special offer. If you use my promo code Phrankleen, you get £10, $10, and or €10 added to your first Sendwave transaction. If you are already a Sendwave user, right, between the said dates, right, and if you're using it for the first time, if you're sending money to Nigeria particularly, for 4.5% of your transaction, Sendwave will give you a bonus amount. So the minimum amount you've got to send is $50, €50, or £50. So 4.5% of your amount based in whatever rate, and will be added on top as a bonus so that your recipients will benefit from that. Okay? Don't forget to share the promo code with your friends and or families. All right? Well, that's that. Now, returning home, the 10 African Diasporans Fears. Now, as you know, there's like a movement. People are, many conversations going on, particularly via YouTube. Numerous content creators. This conversation's been going. People who are deeply involved, African diasporans, our African American brothers and sisters who are migrating to lovely parts of Africa. In fact, Africa is lovely as a whole, and migrating to places like Ghana, Gambia, Nigeria, and several parts of Africa. Now, having said all of that, there is one thing that connects everybody, regardless of their stories and complexities. One thing that connects everybody is you can clearly see that a lot of African diasporans would love to go back to the motherland, right? And a lot of that stems from being tired, being drained, tired of maybe the Western propaganda. Some eyes are opened, oppression, things like racism, being treated unfairly, lacking equal opportunity, the challenges that the Western structure poses, which is a common knowledge, right? So I'm not going to inundate you by going into those things extensively because I'm trying to keep this video short as possible. But I want to talk about the 10 fears that I've narrowed it down that really affect a lot of African diasporans, okay? And it's not to inflict you with further fears, but in highlighting those fears, we can talk about them, your perception, your reasoning around those fears, or they're subjective, according to each person dealing with them. But it's important that we have this conversation and hopefully be able to gain clarity and be able to deal with a lot of myths and a lot of misconceptions, a lot of Chinese whispers has been circulating and preventing a lot of people from making that wonderful move back to the motherland. And before I crack on, I'm also aware that in terms of going back to the motherland, it's really not the cup of tea of everybody living in the West. Some people would never go back to the motherland. That's fine. I'm a respecter of people's decisions. That if you call the West your home, you're settled here with your wife or your husband and your children, and you want to die in the West and get buried, so be it. I respect that. For those that are playing with the idea of wanting to go back, listen to this. So the top 10 fears. Number 1, I know few people who have returned but failed and had to come back to Europe to start all over again. So the moment people hear that in terms of negative outcomes for other people, it's true that so many have gone, to whatever part of Africa, and they might have failed, and then they return back to the West, okay? But there is one thing I want to say, in short about that. It's very, very important that even when you listen to somebody's story, it's not an attempt to try to refute their claims or to undermine them. No. But you need to ask cogent questions, rock solid questions. So if somebody says to me, for example, oh, I went to Nigeria and I tried to settle down and run a business, and I was there for like 3 odd years. I spent this much money and it failed. And, I lost all my money, blah, blah, blah. And I moved back to the UK or to the US or Germany or whatever. You see, we shouldn't just latch onto that story, okay, and just believe that, oh, because of that person's submission, it means nothing works in Nigeria or nothing works in Africa. That's a lie. So for me personally, I would ask important questions. What type of business? What did you do? What financial decisions? Who and who were working on your business premises? Oh, you employed your brother, your cousins. No wonder it failed. Oh, you didn't understand the market. Did you do market research? Where were you positioned? So there's so many things that will give you a clear understanding. That's if they are willing to divulge the truth. So it's important that you get the in-depth, sort of truth and facts that people never really uncover. They give you that just top level assumption, or not assumption, sorry, top level type of roundup of what happened to them, but they would never give you a breakdown of what really happened. Okay, so the second fear is, I'm not successful here, I don't have money, I'll be ashamed to return, just with my suitcase. Of course, it's not a viable idea to just return to the motherland. That's a figure of speech, with your suitcase. You need money. In any part of the world, you need money, okay? But I'm also of the opinion that you don't need hundreds of millions. It's not until you've built 2 homes, you have 3 cars, you have £200,000, £100,000 in your bank account. Financial security is key and crucial, right? But I believe that if going to the motherland is for you, it starts here. In the mindset is the number one weapon. What ideas do you have? What businesses do you want to go into? Of course, with businesses and stuff, you would need money. So you can go with just about enough. Okay, but again, that's what I'm saying, that it's subjective, all right? So don't tie yourself down with the fear of, I'm not successful here, I don't have money. This is why I've had an episode yesterday. You should go and watch it with Mrs. Adeoti on my channel. We talked about finances. Plan around your finances. If you really want to go to the motherland, save, discipline yourself. Number 3, I don't know how I'll face all the social pressure and people asking for money. Long and short, remove yourself. Preferably, relocate to areas where it's a bit distant from, friends and or families. Listen, I understand you might have family members. If you present yourself as though you have X amount of money to give to people, and you put them unbeknown to you or knowingly, you put them on your payroll, it's very simple. Even a 5-year-old child will believe that, oh, you're well off, you've got that bread like that. Okay? Remove yourself and learn to say no. Oh, I'm a soft person. You've got to learn to say no, because in order for you to protect your resources, you really have to put some decisions in place. It's as simple as that. Number 4, I want to start a business back home, but everything is political in Africa. If you don't have connections, your business could be crushed and closed at any time by officials. I understand that, okay? Africa has its plethora of challenges, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Definitely not. But that's not always the case, okay? That's why it's very important that you do things properly. What type of business are you going into? What type of industry? Do your research. Don't go into businesses based on he said, she said, they said. Do your research, okay? Regardless of what we say about the political challenges, which of course there are, at the same time, there is a high number of people that are thriving, okay? People tend to suppress, those side of things in order to put their argument under the spotlight. I'm not refuting the claim that we don't have challenges. I'm positive that, hopefully, as we progress into the future, things will change. We understand that there are a mountain of challenges, but what I'm telling you is, in the same Africa, there are people who are doing well. So why can't you have a positive mindset, all right? And keep your head down, grind, and believe that you will make something out of your motherland. Now, how to explain my decision to my parents, my family, my friends? I'm afraid of their reaction. Let me tell you, man, if you have the vindication in your mind, you don't need the validation of anyone. It's okay to, I'm not saying have a blatant disregard for your parents. If you, depend on how old you are or who you are, right? But people can share views constructively if they are constructive, and or opinions. They can tell you stuff. But what I'm effectively telling you is, if you have a deep conviction in your mind that going to the motherland is really your cup of tea, you don't need your mom and dad or friends and or family's validation. Having said that, okay, please give honest consideration to one or two or three factors that are what giving consideration to in terms of what might pose challenges to you back there. My point here is, there are unbelievable opportunities in the motherland. Don't get it twisted. Don't let people becloud your judgment by their own fears. A lot of those fears are just baseless. Okay? If you adopt them, you're just going to find yourself in a major setback. Okay? How can I be sure that my professional experience will translate into something useful when I return to Africa? The work conditions are not great there. Do your findings, okay? We have internet, whatever. If you're the type who's looking to maybe go to work, okay, do your findings. Investigate the industry, the niche you want to go into and whatnot, and then you can make a conclusive, a clear and conclusive, decision. And, if this is for you, if you want to go in that direction, if you want to go to Ghana, for example, you want to go work in a particular industry in Ghana, do your research, do your proper findings before you move. If it's not for you, fair enough. All right? Right. I'm afraid of political instability. Every election is a matter of life and death with widespread of violence and fear. Those challenges exist in Africa. I'll tell you point blank. You don't even need me to tell you. But the government palaver and power tussle, it's unfortunate. It's one of the setbacks that we have in Africa. But I personally, I wouldn't use that as a yardstick, if that makes sense. I wouldn't allow that to becloud my life, personal life, or family-related decisions. You understand me? Say, for example, I intend to go and take advantage, of the opportunities in the motherland. And I understand there are political challenges and all these things that we're talking about. But at the same time, there are wonderful truckload of opportunities in the motherland that I would really like to benefit from in terms of agriculture and stuff like that. So do you sit down here deliberating about that, politicians and stuff? I think it's an age-old track record that the government, the politicians don't particularly have a track record of really doing 100% what people want them to do. They might do one or two. They will do other things and circumvent the process and cater to their own interest. But we've got a life to live. We have one shot at life, and this is it. So are we going to sit down wallowing in the failings of those people? I understand that the governmental failings have a negative impact on the citizens. I understand. But there's got to be a workaround, is all I'm saying. All right? There is no health insurance in Africa like I have here. The health system in my country has completely collapsed. What will I do if me and my family would get sick? How to find a good health insurance company. How to find a good health insurance company. This is what I'm talking about. Research. Again, I give it to you, right? Not everything in Africa is absolutely bad the way it's projected from the perspective of the West, which I talk about Western propaganda, right? I keep saying that I'm thoroughly aware personally of the challenges in Africa, but it's not the way it's been blown out. Yes, there are challenges within the health sector. You can also access things, privately. This is why it's good to go to your drawing board, open your spreadsheet, look into your finances, all right? But don't let that dissuade you. There are millions of our brothers and sisters who are thriving in the motherland, okay? These are the things, the reasons why the West need us to remain in the West and keep the Western system going. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to refute your claim about the challenges, but these are the things they want impressed on our minds. They're riddled in fear. And you look at Africa and everything about Africa as ugly, as not good enough, so that you can work and slave away and pay into the Western system, die in the West, your children repeat the process. If you look at the overall picture, the Western economy gets stronger and stronger whilst the best brains and minds are being harvested from Africa, and Africa keeps on deteriorating. Does that make sense? I don't have local connections anymore. My friends are now here. I'll feel alone and isolated. How to rebuild my social network locally before moving. I mean, if that's your case, then it's worth, going back to your drawing board and thinking carefully, okay? If having a local connection is a major concern for you, but also, I'll be very honest, I've seen a plethora of African Americans who had no local connections, right? They formed friends via the help of YouTube, internet, fellow African Americans and stuff, and they took the giant step. And today, a lot of them have businesses. They are even creating employment in the motherland. It's up to you, okay? I believe it's subjective and stuff, but those things should not become a roadblock. But if you're blocked mentally, it's always very, very impossible to function in the physical, if that makes sense. I don't have, the last one, I don't have a place where to live. I don't want to return to my parents' house. Where will I live and host my family when I don't have that much money? That's why it's important for you, if going to the motherland is your thing, it's very important for you to go to your drawing board, start making your plans now. Start getting your finances in order. If you have to get a second job, if you have to find an extra side hustle to build up your finances. I don't want to stay in my parents' house. I get that. So if you know that's the case, if you're going to rent and stuff, what part of, which country are you going to? Number one, what are the rents like? Thank God for YouTube. There's so many content creators. Now me, because I'm Nigerian by roots, you find me on my channel, I talk a lot about Nigerian, related stuff, if it's migrating, whatever happening back home and stuff like that. You have the likes of Wadimaya, even the brother travels around Africa, but by roots, Wadimaya is a Ghanaian. He does a lot of content that come out of Ghana. There's so many, Ugandan content creators, Kenyan, and there are many people talking about these things. What I'm saying is, the internet is at your fingertip. You can use this to get a wealth of information, all right? So the long and short is, on the other side of fear is freedom, is exactly what we are looking for. I mean, I've been there. I'm not sat here trying to come across like a superhuman. Fear can mentally dominate you. In fact, one of the strongest battles is mental warfare, okay? If you're chained mentally, physically, you're not going to be productive. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's the way we are wired as humans. So the mindset, it's about mindset. Let me say this as a bonus. There are many African diasporans that want to journey back to the motherland. And unfortunately, their fundamental problem is, you see, when you're going to the motherland and you're already mentally reliant on the fact that you have a British passport, you have an American passport, it's all well and good to be able to jump on the plane and maybe visit the States and go to the UK or Germany or Australia, wherever you might have been for years, you have the passports, right? But if you are going to Africa with the mindset, like a kind of 40% mindset that, a tiny bit of stress, a little bit of challenge, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to jump and run back to the West anyway, right? There are so many people with that mindset, unfortunately. And what that does is, it will have adverse effect on your productivity. It will have adverse effect on the level of energy and contribution that you put into your business ideas, into your grind, because you're not 100% involved. Mentally, you're already latching onto your option B. So in a sense, your option B then takes over the option A, which was already at 30% anyway. So your option B becomes the option A. So as soon as you've made ugly decisions or you find a bit of challenges, you jump on the plane, you go back, and then people start saying, oh, Africa is this and this and this. If you are determined, I believe you can make it work. Do your findings. I cannot stress that enough. Do your findings about whatever part of Africa you want to go to. And I wish all of us who are considering to return to the motherland at some point, all of you brothers and sisters watching me, I wish you all the best. And I hope your dreams and your goals come through for you. It's your boy Phrankleen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support my channel, you can do so via Cash App. There's a link in the description, via PayPal. Or you can join my channel's membership or Patreon, whatever works for you, man. For those of you that have been supporting, I appreciate you. Thank you. Don't forget to share my video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Download Sendwave, all right? Share my promo code Phrankleen with your friends and families. And I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye now.